Hi, and welcome back to Bloody Good Besties, or welcome if you're watching for the first time. My name is Gabby.
I'm Shada.
And I'm Millie.
And we are here to talk true crime. So I love true crime, Millie loves true crime, Shada hates it. So we thought, why don't we torture her and tell her all about true crime?
I also get such bad nightmares. I say this so often, but every time we do this, I don't sleep for a good few days after. So I'm not excited for this, although I love spending time with you all. This is torture.
No, it's not.
Also, I just want to showcase these beautiful pumpkins that we painted behind us. For those watching, I think that's pretty cool.
We should name the zombie. This one. Millie, you should name it because you did it.
That is cool.
Fred,
yeah.
He looks like a Fred.
He looks like a Fred.
Frederick. Patrick the Pumpkin. I don't know.
Okay.
Cool.
I'm ready.
Yeah? Should we do it?
Ish.
So this is a case that I've heard of, and I've heard it on many other podcasts and shows. It's quite well known.
Not that any other podcast is as good as ours, for clarity.
Millie, I think you've heard of it.
Yes.
Because I've mentioned this to you. I probably shouldn't have. This is not favoritism.
Oh.
Just to put it out there. You haven't, so we're going to talk about the Golden State Killer. A predator hidden in plain sight.
Okay.
Yeah, you're not going to like this one. Just saying. Right, so we're going to go to the Golden State, California, 1970s. California was the image of...
By the way, why are these always around the same timeline?
Because they had
it was like Murderville.
Zero police, zero CCTV, zero phone tracking,
Honestly.
Zero anything.
Yeah, it wasn't as tight as
it's
it
like
is
just
now.
purging every time, so it's the same kind of timeline.
A lot of things came out in the 70s, when they had the interstate connections in police because they just didn't talk to each other.
Hippies.
Yeah.
Crazy.
What?
Crazy.
That's good.
What? So hippies.
Okay.
No, what's the flower child? Everyone's going doing drugs. Ever there were just flower power. They were just having sex all the time, everywhere. There was the rise of what? Music, drugs, porn, everything.
But great, that's fine. Why all the stabby stuff?
Because there's zero police presence.
Zero police presence. Obviously now that's why we are so strict because of everything that happened 60s, 70s and 80s. It was 70s. Stricter from the 90s.
Ruined our freedom.
Yeah.
What freedom do you not have?
Smoking on the plane, even though I probably wouldn't want to smoke on the plane.
Yeah, that's so gross.
Oh, gross.
Yeah, but like
especially in economy where you're literally.
But I still anyway. I guess we're going to go on a tangent.
Sorry,
I can't even start the first
sentence. You don't even smoke.
That's what I'm saying. But just I could imagine how cool that would have been. Now you're thinking, don't smoke, because the plane's going to catch fire mid-air. Nah, people were smoking all the time, and it was fine.
Yeah.
There was no seatbelt. Turbulence? Alright. I guess you fly. Anyway, how do we start the first sentence here?
State Golden Killer.
State Golden Killer. So, California, 1970s. California was the image of the American dream. Sunlight suburbs, tree-lined neighborhoods, and growing families seeking security after the turbulence of the 1960s. It was a place of optimism and expansion. Middle-class homes with sliding glass doors, backyard pools, and quiet cul-de-sacs. But beneath the sense of safety, something monstrous was stirring. A force that would, for over a decade, turn the Golden State's calm nights into nightmares.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I love that everyone's got a swimming pool in their backyard, like chilling.
Right?
It's California. That's how I kind of picture California.
Yeah. Sliding doors, maybe like bungalows, not necessarily like big
nice
homes.
Green cul-de-sacs.
Yeah.
What do we have? A main road.
On the roundabout.
Beautiful.
Between 1974 and 1986, a man later identified as Joseph James D'Angelo. So it's not like who done it, like we know who done it, right? So Joseph James D'Angelo, a former police officer,
Interesting.
husband and father, embarked on one of the most terrifying crime sprees in American history today. That was after Ed Gein as well. That he was 60s.
Wow.
He was not, but maybe not by the nature of crimes, because let's face it, he wasn't making lampshades out of testicles.
Yeah.
He was, well, not really testicles, you know what I mean. He was known by many names over the years. The Visalia ransacker, the East Area rapist, the original Night Stalker, and finally, the Golden State Killer. A name coined decades later to connect the horrors he left behind. He burglarized more than 100 homes, raped over 50 women, and murdered 13 people. For decades, he disappeared into everyday life, hiding behind the face of normal life. He attended family barbecues. He mowed his lawn. Mowed his lawn.
Yeah.
God, I don't want to start because no, don't. You watch the other episodes, you'll know what I'm talking about. He kissed his children goodnight, and then at night he hunted.
It's begun.
Jada's losing the will to live already.
So wild.
You don't even know what he did yet.
He murdered 13 people.
Yeah. Right. So it began quietly.
Also, can I just add? Sorry, I just want to make a point. Like, all of this is really bad, but even if you look at burglaries, like, you would be long-term traumatized if you got burgled. I think that in itself
I was burgled.
is so really.
Yeah. Should I tell you my true crime story now on air?
Yeah.
I think I've told you this. So that was when I still lived at home before I moved to uni. So I was still in sixth form. And my stepdad and my mum worked together. So I used to leave for work in the morning at like before 6. And they would go and obviously then I'll wake up, go to school or whatever. But that morning, I couldn't sleep. So I heard my stepdad getting ready and leaving. But I remember hearing, I only hear him, I don't hear my mum. So anyway, so I heard him leave, but our car was parked at the back, so you have to walk to the garden door, to the garden, and we had a car parked behind the house, if that makes sense. So he wouldn't walk from the front, he would walk from the back. Which that's where my room was, facing the garden. So I heard him leave, lock the gate and everything. Maybe a couple of minutes later, I heard like a banging, something banged on the wall. And I knew exactly what it was because downstairs we had a desk where the laptop was and a desk chair. But back at that time, we did have obviously Wi-Fi, but it was connected with the Ethernet cable. And I'm assuming you know, with the Ethernet cable, you don't just pull it out. You need to like weird thing. We have to like hold it and pull it out. So someone was struggling to pull that cable out and then move the chair, and the chair banged on the wall. So I was like, hold on a minute, what's going on? And obviously that scared me because like I know that my stepdad just left. And either my mum left with him, but I didn't hear her. So in my mind, my mum's at home. And then I heard like voices. So at that point, it was just pure adrenaline because I literally got out of bed, but I started like really loud, like stomping when I got out of bed. So like big stomp. I turned the light on in my bedroom. I walked out my room, turned the light on in the hallway.
Making bear noise.
Exactly. So that may hopefully scare them off. And my downstairs were literally facing directly the front door. So as I'm at the top of the stairs, I see like a hand closing the door. So someone just did this to close the door behind them. Creepy. And I saw a hand closing the door. And I don't know what I was thinking, but it was, I think it was pure adrenaline where I ran down the stairs and I ran behind them. So I took a few steps out of the house and I can see someone running. And then I was like, what the fuck am I doing?
Why are you running after them?
Right? So I still remember, it like makes me like very uncomfortable. I closed the door, locked the door, and I remember when the door was locked, my knees gave in and I just slid
Or
Like,
into yourself,
bless you.
yeah.
and I was so excited, crying. I'm like, Mom.
Was your mum home?
Yeah. So she was asleep.
She's just snoring away in a great time.
That's my point, though. Imagine, so you're like, that's left trauma for you.
I was going to say, that still makes you
So now-
tell that story.
Yeah, like
Well, that's what I was
traumatizing.
trying to
Yeah,
say.
So that's why I'm
yeah.
always so scared to lock the doors. I'm
Uh-huh.
scared to be home alone.
Yeah.
I leave lights on sometimes.
Mhm.
And if I'm very sensitive to noise. Like, what's that noise?
Mm.
So if I'm falling asleep
Mhm.
and I hear someone come in or I hear noises, I listen. So I'll stop breathing. I listen.
Mhm.
Weird, right?
Yeah.
But this,
That's-
literally,
that leads back to your point,
I was
yeah.
trying to
True
say it's
crime.
traumatizing.
Call the police.
But they're not going to
They
get
did
in time.
fuck all. I was like, oh, there's no sign of entry. I was like, okay, well, now what? So change the locks. And that's it. Great help. Anyway, we're 15 minutes in. Right. It began quietly with burglaries. So in 1974, the small town of Visalia, California, Visalia, I think, began reporting a strange pattern of break-ins. The intruder would sneak into homes at night, steal small personal objects, and rearrange belongings in bizarre ways. Underwear laid out on beds, photographs moved, drawers emptied. He wasn't even trashing the place, because he was toying with people, I guess. Police dubbed him as the Visalia ransacker. He didn't steal money or jewelry. Instead, he took intimate mementos, underwear, and identification cards, photographs, sentimental tokens. So it's more like,
That's
can I,
creepy.
will I, and would I get caught? Instead of, I need money.
Yeah.
Which
So
is
it's like
Testing the
mental,
waters.
like
adrenaline one as well.
What's the word? We are like mentally,
Aroused.
mentally bullying someone. It's not. I'm not trying to say mentally
Like
bullying.
torture,
You're trying to get into their head,
Playing
like
games.
psychological torture.
Mm.
You're taking their family momentum,
And you get an offer on it as well, probably.
Okay, so testing the water, checking he's not getting caught, fucking with people.
So between 1974 and 75, there were over 100 confirmed burglaries attributed to him.
Damn.
Wow. Confirmed as
It's
well.
got too much time.
Confirmed. So that's a year. So 12 months, 360 something days. So he did it every 3 days,
That's wild.
basically.
That's wild.
Victims described a feeling of violation far beyond theft, like he said. Their homes had been entered with precision and their private worlds dissected. The behavior escalated. In September 1975, during a stakeout, police officer Claude Sneeling interrupted a kidnapping attempt of his teenage daughter as well. The ransacker shot Sneeling dead before fleeing into the night. It was the predator's first known murder, and the moment burglary became bloodshed. After that, he vanished, but 250 miles north, a new terror was about to emerge. At that point, he left.
They left for, oh man, I killed someone. Shit, I gotta get out.
So smart, right? He wasn't like.
But he tried to kidnap the guy's daughter. So he was already escalating.
Yeah.
He just maybe didn't intend
So he
on-
like escalated slightly, but he actually just escalated. Yeah. In Sacramento County, a new wave of attacks began in 1976. Women alone in their homes, often after dark, began reporting a man breaking in, shining a flashlight in their faces, and whispering commands through clenched teeth. Oh, God. He wore a ski mask, he carried a gun, he tied his victims with shoelaces or cords taken from their own homes. So he didn't even bring, like, his own thing. You're getting tied up with your own shoelace or something. He would, oh, I hate this bit. He would whisper chilling things, calling his victims by name, taunting them with phrases like, quote, "Don't move, I'll kill you," end quote. Another quote, "I'll be gone before you even know I was here," end quote.
It is literally psychological
Because
torment.
yeah.
He's
wants
trying
to
to
torture.
bully people mentally.
It's like a power and domination
Yeah.
play, I think.
Yeah.
There was an SVU episode
Was
based
it?
on this. 100%.
Must have been, because it's such a famous
100%.
case.
A what?
Special Victims Unit, Law and Order.
I love Light and Order.
Everything is a special
Because
victim
there
unit.
was a guy who came with the flashlights in the face and whispered stuff and like would leave the women like totally like terrified.
I hate it here. Sometimes he would stay for hours, eating food from the kitchen,
Oh my
rummaging
days.
through drawers, or sitting silently in the house while victims lay bound and terrified.
Oh my god. come
Because
on.
then at this point, you don't know what's happening next. He's just sitting, chilling on your sofa,
Too bullying.
sipping tea, or
Eating your
just chilling,
leftovers.
eating your sandwich, and you're there lying on the floor, gagged and bound, thinking, is he going to rape me? Is he going to kill me? Is he going to stab me? And he's just there, sitting and looking at you. Psychological trauma.
Enjoying that he's it. That's
So
the
you
bit
got
he
that really
enjoyed.
early, yeah.
Oh.
So messed up.
I think that's actually probably worse than getting stabbed. Stab me and leave.
That is what she says all the time.
I always say this, I don't want to deal with the fear. I don't want to deal with that. Just get it done. Just get it done.
She's
over
like,
with.
just kill me. I'd rather just kill me.
I believe in reincarnation, but I'll do it all again. Restart.
Right, so from that point, he changed slightly, escalated slightly again. In 1977, he began attacking couples. So now
He's one of the 10.
he's one of the 10.
They say out of 4,000 serial killers, only 10 of them target couples.
Where's the 12,000?
4,000.
Out of 4,000, only 10
Target couple.
target couples. There you
It's a
go.
brave
That was a
move.
Wikipedia
It's a brave move.
fact, by the way, so that might be very true, but
Let's
I'll
go with
take it.
He would bind, listen to this because this is fucked. He would bind the man, place dishes or cups on his back, and tell him that if he heard the plates fall, he would kill both of them.
If
He would place cups or plates, something that can smash and make noise, on his back, on the husband's boyfriend's back. Then if he heard it fall, he would kill them both. So he can't, basically, don't move. You can't move. Stay where you are. He would then rape the woman, often repeatedly, within feet of a helpless partner. Well, he was.
How did he subdue both, though? That's what I want to know.
Gun?
you have a gun, you're just going to do whatever you say. That is also disgusting. This is obviously it's
Also,
physical, but it's very mental.
Imagine if it's at night, you're in bed, you're a bit vulnerable, and like you can't really react really quickly, and you've got a gun in your head or a knife.
You also don't know how you're going to act in these situations.
Some people just
Panic,
freeze.
total freeze.
So these attacks weren't spontaneous. They were meticulously planned. The perpetrator often stalked his victims for weeks before striking. Learning the routines, scouting escape routes, even breaking into their homes ahead of time to unlock windows or hide ligatures. Running just there like in your cupboard.
What?
Wardrobe hiding, or there when you're having a shower and you're just scouting around the house. That's what I hate. I don't want to be home alone. Fucking horrible. So that's fun.
It's made me really itchy.
You're uncomfortable.
Yeah, it's made me
I can feel you.
Uh,
This is Shayla's like worst nightmare story as well, because it's all the shit that she fears.
For those who are listening, you should watch it. So you can see Shayla twitch. Not like a horrible way. I've told you it's a good case. Victims later recalled that he seemed organized, military in precision, yet tauntingly sadistic. One survivor remembered hearing him cry softly after the assaults, muttering phrases like, quote, "I hate you, Bonnie," end quote, a name no one could explain until decades later. I hate you, Bonnie. And cry after the assaults. I wish you could see their faces if you're listening. So when I was reading this first time, it made me think, is it like another Ed Gein situation, like mummy issues or something? And I keep literally feel like every single episode I mentioned Ed Gein. It's so fresh on my mind after the show on Netflix. Anyway, let's move on. In 1979, the attacks escalated to murder. So this body's not killing; he's just raping, right?
Why is no one finding him?
The 70s.
He was wearing a ski mask as well, wasn't he? That year, Dr. Robert Offerman and Deborah Manning, a couple in Santa Barbara County, were found dead in their home, bound and shot. The MO was chillingly similar to East Area rapist attacks. Over the next 7 years, the same pattern repeated across California coastal communities: Ventura, Goleta, Irvine, and Dana Point. Couples found murders in their homes, bindings still in place and seen eerily neat. 7 years, you know? A long time.
7 years.
7 years is a very long time. We've been friends for, doing quick maths, 8.
A lot of time.
A long time.
And he sexually assaulted 50 people.
50 women.
50 women confirmed.
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 So there's way more than that. At least 13 murders and a dozen of rapes occurred during this time, but at the time police didn't connect them. Each county investigated its own horrors, unaware the same man was haunting all of them. And I think that's the problem.
It's
At that
they
time.
don't talk to
That's
each
the
other.
point I was trying to say about the
Yeah.
70s. They just had no way. They
Yeah.
had no
So if he was
digitalized
exactly,
records.
so if he was skipping around different towns, different
Like Ted
counties
Bundy.
within the same state, they weren't talking to
Yeah.
each other.
Which is so crazy when you think about that. Like, no,
So stupid.
Yeah, well, obviously now everything is digitized, so
It's so not like you didn't have a phone. Like you had a phone.
a fax machine.
You had a fax machine. You had something. You could
Letter
like
in a bottle.
like a pin board.
But I think they're just focused in investigating their
Protect my
own
for sure.
jurisdiction.
my
Yeah,
place,
yeah,
my
for
hand.
sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Exactly, they weren't saving the world; they were saving like what's happening on their streets.
Yeah.
The killer evolved. He no longer left witnesses alive. He was dubbed the original Night Stalker to distinguish him from Richard Ramirez, the Night Stalker who struck Los Angeles years later. So that's what the Netflix program is about.
Yeah.
So the Night Stalker is about Richard Ramirez,
Yes.
and this is the one
OG.
before him, the OG.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Did you see that one?
The Night Stalker, he does similar things like burglars.
Because I think he basically
That's like 80s, right?
he was 80s, yeah. So basically copied the Golden State.
Yeah.
Very good. One of my favorite serial killer programs on Netflix. Yeah, like a weird way or anything. Like my favorite. Do you know what I mean?
I love that show.
What's your favorite bit? It's really good. How they found him was really good. Maybe we'll cover it since you haven't seen it. Next torture device.
What?
What to torture you with? Next case. His crimes bore signatures. Entry through sliding doors or windows. Lock your doors. Problem solved. Anyway, victims bound with shoelaces or electrical cords. Husbands or boyfriends tied first, then the women. Items stolen not for value but meaning: wedding rings, driver licenses, underwear. Plates stacked on the man's back as a warning system. Each murder revealed escalating control and an obsession with domination. The killer disappeared in 1986. Here we go again. Leaving behind blood, terror, and silence. After 1986, the killing stopped, or at least so it seemed. Decades passed.
Wow.
California moved on, but detectives never forgot. In 1919, the DNA technology began linking unsolved murders from the south with the East Area rapist attacks up north. For the first time, they realized one man had been responsible all along, a predator who had evolved from burglar to rapist to killer. He now had a new name, the Golden State Killer. Yet, despite the DNA evidence, there was no matches in national databases. He had vanished. Some believed he was dead. Others thought he had moved states or been imprisoned for another crime. Then, in 2001, a chilling phone call shattered the illusion of his disappearance. I hate this bit. A survivor from 1970s picked up her phone one night and heard whisper on the line, quote, "Remember when we played?" End quote. I actually got goosebumps. Imagine.
This is in 2001, yeah?
Mhm.
Yeah.
So 30 years later, he
You would
called
have
her.
spent all
30
this
years
time trying
thinking
to
I've done-
recover your trauma for this fucker.
This is definitely the SVU episode.
30 years later, he called her. The voice was older, raspier, but it was him. First of all, how did he get yellow books on the yellow pages?
Yeah, man.
Probably
Yeah, phone book.
because they still use phone books at that point.
Mm.
Imagine. Again, going back to the psychological torment you said about. He was probably bored and he was like, let me go through all the
Let me
victims.
go and re-ruin someone's life.
Yeah, let me see if they're still alive. Let me look through yellow
But
pages.
you know, like how they say
Hello?
that killers will go back to the body? It's kind of like the same thing.
Scene of the
I want to
crime.
go back to the trauma. I want to
Wanna go back to that
relive it a
one
bit more.
person who
Yeah.
got away.
Yet, no one knew that the Golden State Killer had been living an ordinary suburban life, just miles from some of his former crime scenes. Now we get into the good bits. Joseph James DeAngelo Jr. was born in 1945 in Bath, New York. He served in the U.S. Navy during the Vietnam era, then studied criminal justice at Sacramento State University. In the 1970s, he became a police officer in two small California departments, first in Exeter, then in Auburn. He was the po-po.
I wonder if he was weird then. Like if it was, or did he become weird? I wonder how this all came about.
Yeah. As a police officer, DeAngelo was disciplined, quiet, and methodical. He wrote speeding tickets, responded to calls, and learned the investigate techniques that would later help him evade capture, which makes sense. He was fired from the Auburn Police Department in 1979 after being caught shoplifting a hammer and dog repellent, a bizarre echo of the tools he used in his crime scenes. At home, he was married with 3 daughters. Neighbors described him as irritable but ordinary, the kind of man who yelled about lawn care or parking but seemed harmless enough. Behind closed door, he was a man consumed by rage and control. He had blended into suburbia so seamlessly that when his name surfaced decades later, former neighbors were stunned. Quote,
"Joe, the killer, he used to wave at me every morning."
end quote, one said. What does that got to do with anything, by the way? Just because someone waved at you doesn't mean you go and stab someone else. But I think it just shows that
But it shows he must have been like quite a normal-ish
so
guy.
like cold face as well. Imagine like killing, raping someone, and then waving at your neighbours the next day.
Oh, hell.
It's like what they call
Well,
them?
he would pop out in the night, right? He'd just
Split
pop out in the middle of the night.
personalities. Yeah, he would come out at night. Yeah.
Just putting out the trash. Morning. Hi, Susan. Yeah, hi. Good too.
By the 2010s, we're in the 2010s now.
Wow.
Yeah, and starting in the 70s. Detectives were still haunted by the Golden State Killer. Among them was Paul Holes, a cold case investigator from Contra Costa County. Advances in DNA analysis gave him an idea. If the killer's DNA didn't match existing criminal databases, maybe it would match public genealogy databases, ones people used to find their relatives. So like Ancestry and where'smydaddy.com.
Is that a thing?
I don't know.
Is that a real thing?
No, it's not. I don't know. I just
Should
made it
be.
up. Should be.
Sounds like cash.
Witty. Right. Using the crime scene DNA, so he must have left some DNA behind. Silly goose. Investigators uploaded the genetic profile to an open source genealogy site called GED Match. To everyone's shock, it produced distant family matches, relatives of the unknown killer. So I'm assuming they did like a big family tree. From there, they built a massive family tree spanning hundreds of people. Within months, they narrowed the pool to one man who fit every perimeter. Male, the right age, lived in California during the attacks, and had law enforcement background. His name was Joseph James DeAngelo. In April 2018, like 40 years later, investigators secretly collected a discarded tissue from his garbage and a swab from his car door handle.
So wait, there's actually a really big gap between this, right?
Yeah, because he stopped killing.
No, but the bit where he found the ancestry, what date was that?
2010.
2010s.
2010s, and then it went 2018.
2018, discarded
so 8
tissue.
years later, we're now trying to get his DNA.
What was 2010s? It could have been like
Because this is
12,
like
13.
a cold case, isn't it? They
Yeah.
don't really have like loads of people working on it.
Still don't accept it.
Yeah, I
Right.
mean,
There.
so many people died. Like,
It's not any case is a small case, but like this is a big, a really, really
Yeah.
big.
so after 40 years, they had their man.
So they collected rubbish that he discarded.
Check the DNA.
Yeah, like tissue from, like, I don't know, maybe obviously his
Yeah, yeah.
spit, saliva, whatever, and then swab from his car door handle. And they matched, obviously, perfectly. In April 24, 2018, police surrounded DeAngelo's home in Citrus Heights, California. He was 72 years old, a retired mechanic living quietly in a modest suburban house. When officers approached, DeAngelo calmly stepped outside and said, quote, "I have a roast in the oven," end quote.
What the fuck? Does it say
What
why?
kind of
It
roast?
says why he stopped. I don't know. Why he just
Let me carry on reading then.
Okay.
He was handcuffed at the front of his house. Inside the house, investigators found a lifetime of secrets: guns, ropes, ski masks, and items believed to be souvenirs from his victims. Why would you keep it for so long? Why would you keep it for 40 years?
That's
so
You think it's confidence, like they haven't caught me for so long.
Yeah,
He's
well, they don't
72
catch me now,
at this
yeah,
point.
he's
He probably
72.
doesn't care.
Also true.
It's like, live my life now. I've done what I've done.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Neighbors gathered outside, stunned. Some had lived next to him for decades. One said, quote, "He used to babysit my dog. He helped me fix my fence.
Yeah, dog
I can't
repellent.
believe it," end quote.
It's like the real thing. Why, who in their right mind should have arrested him right there for getting dog repellent? Evil person.
What dog repellent?
He said he
said
got
dog repellent.
dog repellent.
Oh, that was at the ages ago.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's when we crazy. What?
Yeah, he used to babysit my dog. He helped me fix my fence. Therefore, I can't believe it. Okay.
Stupid logic.
Honestly. The man who terrorized California for over a decade had never left. He had simply grown old. DeAngelo appeared in court, frail and silent in an orange jumpsuit. Survivors and families of the victims filled the room. For many, this side of the killer, aged and weak, finally exposed, brought a bittersweet kind of justice. Facing overwhelming DNA evidence, DeAngelo agreed to a plea deal to avoid the death penalty. Guillotine. Honestly, at this
Bring
point,
out the box.
you should watch the previous episode where Millie explains what she means by the box.
Bring the box.
I think guillotine or public hanging, and you said public stoning.
And the box.
Bring the box.
Let the choke you.
Okay.
Shame. On June 29th, 2020, very recently,
Oh, wow,
he pleaded guilty to 13 counts of first-degree murder and 13 counts of kidnapping, and admitted responsibility for dozens of rapes, burglaries outside the statute of limitations. During the hearing, prosecutors played recorded calls, read survivor statements, and projected crime scene photos. DeAngelo sat motionless. When given the chance to speak, he muttered one word. What do you think the word was?
yeah. Sorry. Tell me it's sorry.
What did you think, Millie? One word.
One word.
That is one word, to be fair.
No, it's not.
But dunno.
Oh, D-U-N-N-O.
D-U-N-N-O.
One word. It better be bloody sorry.
He is sorry.
Thank God.
Yeah.
He said, quote, sorry.
Imagine that.
That's
Just stood
it.
up and goes,
Sorry.
sorry.
Okay.
Shame.
On August 21st, 2020, he was sentenced to multiple consecutive life terms without parole. He would die in prison. The Golden State Killer case forever altered criminal investigation. So we changed, luckily. Again, another case that changed some sort of history or pattern of what they were doing, which is good. Obviously, despite
Not
murders.
too late, but yeah.
It was the first major case solved through forensic genealogy, opening new pathways of solving cold cases worldwide. It exposed how serial predators can live double lives, blending into society for decades. Because you would be like, oh, he's a nice person, he'll never do it, or he's a junkie, therefore he must have been him.
Well, we learned that with Ted Bundy, didn't we? Like he was
Charming,
handsome and
yeah.
charming, or whatever.
It gave rise to new privacy database over using public DNA databases in criminal cases. So if you put your DNA to Ancestry, they might find killers. Because if you had killers. For survivors, it brought long-awaited closure, but also reopened wounds. Many of them, like Jane Carson Sandler, who was raped by D'Angelo in 1976, found strength in seeing justice done after 40 years. Quote, he's finally where he belongs. He can't hurt anyone again. End quote. Joseph D'Angelo is now in his late 70s, imprisoned in California. He eats alone, he seldom speaks, but his crimes live on in the collective memory of those he terrorized. And in the warning, his history represents that the most dangerous monsters can wear the most ordinary faces. His case became a cautionary tale about trust, safety, and fallibility of appearances. He was a father, a police officer, and a neighbor. And he was one of the most prolific serial predators in American history. When detectives finally told one of the surviving victims that the man who raped her 42 years earlier was a retired cop living a few miles away, she wept, not only for herself, but for the years of fear and lost peace. Quote, he lived free all this time, she said, but he will never be free again. End quote. The story of Golden State Killer is not just one for brutality, but of persistence. The investigators who refused to give up, of technology that caught up with the evil, and victims who never let the stories die in silence. And somewhere in California, as the sun sets over another quiet suburban street, that silence, for the first time in decades, finally feels safe. The end.
Okay, you know what I don't get? He was married with kids.
3 daughters.
Did his
I think.
wife not figure out, like, where the freaking hell are you going every
Well, if you're a
evening?
police officer, you've got night shift, you've got duty. It's such a good excuse
But even
to
when
be
he
out
got
all
fired
night.
from the popo and he was still doing that nonsense.
We went to the other popo.
We also don't know what their like relationship dynamic was like with her.
Like,
She
she
was a
didn't
very
see the
submissive
ski
side.
mask in the bloody house
You don't know what
with
they-
all these trophies. Like, where did this extra
I
wedding
can't
ring come
imagine
from?
someone that mentally fucked up wouldn't also be the same way with the wife. There'll be something. There'll be a lot of emotional damage there.
Yeah.
I really struggled with this case.
You say that every
Literally
time.
every
No, but
case.
this
I'm
one I
really
think
sure.
might have been the worst one. Is how it's made me
Really?
feel.
Really?
It's that because you know when
The
you're
psychological.
picturing something, I'm picturing the timing of that fear.
Yeah.
Like there's so much build up.
Mm.
Like I say it again. I'd just rather be killed instantly than the fear and the torment and the bullying for that like lady who survived. She probably wishes she's not. She'll probably be
For
there
42
forever
years,
in fear. You'll
And
never
then he
sleep
calls
well. You'll
her.
never date well. There's nothing you will do well for years. I just say that.
Right, so the key is, if anyone does that nonsense with me and Sheridan and I puts plates on my back, the best thing to do is just drop the fucking plates and we both get killed before anything bad happens.
She's in.
And lock your windows and doors and
That's it.
stuff. And yeah.
Lock your windows, lock your doors. And it also makes me feel like what would have happened if one of the couples fought back
That's my point.
Because it's two
like,
against
would
one.
he have killed them?
But then again, yes, I'm assuming he had a gun.
Maybe he would have killed one of them, and maybe the other one would have like battered him.
Mm.
I'd risk it for the
obviously-
biscuit
we don't
rather
know.
than get, you know.
Yeah, but it's what I'm trying to say.
sexually
You
assaulted.
don't know how you'll be in the situation, which is kind of the point. This is all hypothetical talking. I would do this. I would
Yeah.
do that.
You would freak.
I have left my door open. I've left my windows open. There's so much stuff.
Do you remember? I don't know if I'm going to say it's super personal now, but do you remember when you thought, or you still believed that someone was in the house and you were in such panic?
Oh yeah.
You froze.
Let me tell you something about myself. I am not one to freeze. I'm not one to shy away from conflict. I've always said to myself, "Oh, in these situations, yeah, I'd fight. I'd get this. I'd get that." I couldn't move. My body I couldn't physically move. I was frozen. I couldn't breathe. It was the most humbling experience of your life because you really would thought I'd fight. I'm ready. Nothing. I could not. I literally stood still for about 10 minutes.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You really don't know what you would
No.
do,
What
and
your reaction is,
And that's
until
the
it
point.
happens.
yeah,
I would have put money. I would have done something different. No. So anyway,
lock your doors, lock your windows, and hopefully you had a bloody good time listening to this story. Maybe not. Shada didn't, clearly. And
It never does.
she never does, and she never will.
Tonight.
See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.